If the horses last, we'll get there before the dead.
Hi everyone, it's Charlie. This is going to be my Game of Thrones Season 8 Episode 1 Q&A video. So I just picked comments from Episode 1 in my last Episode 2 trailer video. We're doing Game of Thrones videos all season long. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to get everything. There's a new round of that HBO Now giveaway too. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber and leave a comment on the video. Most of the questions that I picked from these are from my YouTube comments that you guys leave on videos, but I do try to check Twitter, Facebook, and other social media accounts for questions that you leave there. Careful for spoilers from Episode 1 and the Episode 2 trailer. Here we go, first question. Zoc asks, I think Drogon's face was confirmation of him being Khal Drogo's reincarnation. The interesting thing about that is that Paula Fairfield, the person that does the sounds that the dragons make, actually did say something about that. She said that she was actually trying to play it up as if Drogon really was the reincarnation of Khal Drogo and was sort of telling Jon off, like, she belongs to me. She only rides me, like we've all made jokes last season about the boat. Jon rides a dragon, as in Daenerys Targaryen. The thing about that, though, is that she went on to say that her interpretation of him being the reincarnation of Khal Drogo was not canon to the series, so that wasn't something that came from the producers or the writers. She just came up with that on her own. There's a lot of symbolism and meaning, deep mythology going on when Daenerys is hatching Drogon using Khal Drogo's funeral pyre, so I don't think that you'd be wrong to look at him as the spiritual reincarnation of Khal Drogo, but I don't think that he's the literal reincarnation of Khal Drogo. For the most part, I think he's just being very, very protective of Daenerys. 9. Curtis Nelson asks, did anyone else find it odd that the symbol that the Night King left at the Umbers looked an awful lot like the Targaryen Sigil? This was actually one of the biggest questions on the video. It does look a lot like the Targaryen Sigil. What I think is going on here, because the Night King has been making this symbol since way before season 1 of the show, it goes all the way back to his creation, and I will do a separate, more in-depth video about the mythology and play here, because the same spiral shape is on the cave paintings that the Children of the Forest made a long time ago before the Targaryens ever inhabited Dragonstone. So I think it'd be more appropriate to say that the Targaryen Sigil resembles the Children of the Forest and the Night King's symbol, because all that stuff predates the beginning of the Targaryen household before they ever picked that sigil. I think a lot of it gets into the evolution of religions and customs, especially in the rise of the Valyrian Freehold, because that was happening after the Long Night, because stories of the Long Night may have traveled east while that was happening, so they just want to provide you with a common point of origin for all of this mythology using the Children of the Forest and the creation of the Night King. Number 8, Moondragon asks, when it comes to Dany not telling Jon about the Tarleys, why would she? Clearly by her reaction saying not Randall Tarley, she had no clue of the connection. Sure, she knows about Sam. Jon must not have mentioned his last name. I think it's important to remember with stuff like this, the show will always withhold a lot of information in favor of a big twist payoff during an episode. It's a good reminder of the Arya-Sansa storyline last season and Sansa not telling Jon Snow about the Knights of the Vale during Battle of the Bastards. The writers want the Knights of the Vale riding in to be this huge surprise. Oh, we never thought that this would happen. We thought that all the heroes were going to die. It's the same situation with Samwell Tarly learning about his father and brother. Like, oh, Jon probably talked about me. You probably know that I'm a Tarly, but we're going to pretend like you don't for the purposes of this conversation, just so the audience can watch me break down, propelling me to tell Jon Snow the truth about his parentage. 7. Anai asks, Charlie, wouldn't one assume Cersei have projectiles made of dragon glass to shoot at Viserion? I actually don't think that she's thought that far ahead. Qyburn is probably trying to think a few steps ahead, but I don't think that Cersei has. Remember, she's expecting the armies in the north to cancel each other out. They do have regular scorpion bolts, but we've never seen Qyburn or anyone in King's Landing mention dragon glass ever, and we've never seen them mine it. So unless the show is hiding even more information from us, I think it's all just set up for a potential Night King on Viserion coming to King's Landing. Like, what would happen if you tried to shoot the dragon down with a regular dragon bolt and it didn't work? Because right now, after Season 7, Episode 4, Cersei knows that the regular scorpions work on the normal dragons, so she is so overconfident about that. 6. Hakashi asks, where's Ghost? Did they run out of the CGI budget for the dragons and not have any left over for Ghost? Yeah, maybe he's with Cersei's elephants. I want those elephants. The people that do the visual effects and the special effects for the show did say that Ghost was a part of the season, but they didn't say which episode he appears in. I don't know if it's going to be episode 2 or episode 3, but I would assume that they're going to address him at some point this season. Number 5, Cormac asks, could Arya take the face of a white? I don't think that there's any precedent for this, and you remember that when they try to cut them with dragonglass, they shatter. The thing about taking someone's face is that you only do it after they're dead, and in order to kill a White Walker, you have to use dragonglass or Valyrian steel. If you use a regular dagger, they wouldn't die and they would just continue trying to kill you. So just practically speaking, I don't think that Arya would be able to hold a White Walker stationary long enough to cut its face off while it was still alive. They've played it really fast and loose with the rules of Arya's face stealing and with the rules about killing White Walkers and Whites, but I still think that taking a White Walker's face is just a step too far, so I don't think that it's possible from a practical standpoint. Number 4 conceivably asks, have you thought about it if Cersei is truly pregnant, if her child would be the last baby given to the Night King as little Sam was stolen from him? Is she going to be the new Night Queen? So there are a couple questions there. There were a lot of questions about Cersei, the baby, and what she did with Euron. Just to answer the last question first, I don't think that she's going to become the Night Queen because I do think that they will eventually defeat the Night King, so there will be no Night Queen. But I think the idea is that Cersei is trying to keep Euron under her thumb. Lena Headey actually talked about this scene. She actually said that she protested and said that Cersei would never sleep with Euron. She would never give in. But the way the producers convinced her was by saying that Cersei would do whatever it took to maintain her supremacy. She needs Euron's forces to do that. She needs the Golden Company. So on one level, sleeping with Euron was just a way to continue to secure his loyalty. But as for the baby, because she is still pregnant with Jaime's baby, people were wondering maybe she's going to try and pass the baby off as Euron's, but I don't think that it'll come that far. I actually think she's going to lose the baby either through a miscarriage or it will be stillborn. Something will happen to it right after it's born, but the baby will not survive. So the identity of the baby's father won't really be that big of an issue. Number 3, Patrick Long asks, so will Drogon and Rhaegal fight? No, I don't think that it'll come to that, but I think you're asking that maybe because Jon Snow is a dragon rider now. If Rhaegal is going to be doing any fighting, it's going to be against the Night King, and I think that they're just foreshadowing that because Jon Snow is now a dragon rider, so it's possible for him to ride a dragon and attack the Night King while he's riding Viserion in the air. So you have a situation where Jon Snow and Daenerys can both man the dragons against Viserion and the Night King in the sky, but we do see Jon Snow in the battle on the ground a lot, so it's not like he's going to spend all of his time on Dragonback now.
There was a bit where Jon almost falls off the dragon, swings round really violently like this, and my right ball got trapped and I didn't have time to say stop. And I was being swung round. In my head, I thought this is how it ends. On this buck, swinging me round by my testicles, literally. Sorry, probably too much information.
Number 2, It's Overton asks, do you think that someone inside Winterfell will betray Daenerys or Jon in a huge way? Well, it depends on what you mean by betray. I don't think anyone's secretly working for Cersei at Winterfell right now. I do think that the characters are going to make a lot of decisions that will seem like emotional betrayals or subtle betrayals, but not in the really twisty way that, say, Bran is betraying Jaime and Tyrion. That, to me, is a straight-up betrayal, trading his friends for the big castle that he wants because he thinks that Cersei will give him the castle. Like, he's still trying to convince himself that that's the right way to go. And more to that fact, actually, Siphon Brew asks, do you think that Bran will follow through and actually kill Jaime and Tyrion? I definitely think they're going to take it right to the last minute with that, but I don't actually think that Bran will go through with it. It all depends on whether or not you think that Bran is fundamentally a good character despite his actions, or whether he really just does want that castle. But I think what's going to happen this season is that a lot of good characters will surprise you with bad decisions they make, and a lot of morally reprehensible characters will surprise you with the good decisions they make. And one more too, ZF asks, hey there, had a doubt, when Theon says he would like to fight besides the Starks, Yara replies that the bastards die anyways. Who were the bastards she was referring to? So she says, kill the bastards anyway. It's a bit of a reference to the House Greyjoy saying, what is dead may never die. That's respective to the Ironborn, but in this context, she's talking about the army of the dead, because they're already dead. What is dead may never die, but they'll be trying to kill what is already dead. You could also take this as a reference to Euron Greyjoy, because I think he'll meet his end at the Ironborn's hands, whether it be Yara Greyjoy or Theon. I really do hope that Theon survives to come down to King's Landing and kills Euron himself. Thank you so much, though, for leaving questions. I'll do these for every single episode and the bonus episode 7 after the finale airs. Just a reminder, too, that there is going to be a special episode that'll air the week after the finale, so technically it's like we're getting 7 episodes this season, but I'll talk more about that when we get closer to the actual finale. Let me know if there are any other bonus videos that you guys want me to do this week. I will do a video about the Night King's symbol and all that mythology, the Targaryen Sigil, but there's a lot of other really big stuff going on. As long as you have alerts enabled for my channel, you should see all the videos, so no worries. But congratulations to the giveaway winner from my last big video, Antinous. Please email me on the about page of my channel